Okay, how's everyone doing today? This is James Sorge here with how to incrementally stat breed Pokemon. No hacks, no anything of that like. And I just want to make a quick manual on how to do it and show off how to do it to some degree so you can see me and I can explain a few things that need to be necessarily done. Okay, so today we're going to breed an Eevee, hopefully a female, maybe a male with a whole bunch of stats starting with a good stat video and hopefully absolutely nothing starting off except the Premier Ball Eevee. So, let's turn that internet off. We don't need to use it today. So, first of all, there are a few prerequisites that I want to make sure we go over. Alright? Things you're going to need. Okay, first, let me get back. First of all, we definitely need a big stat Ditto, as you can see. 5-6 IV is preferred. I prefer 6 just so you don't have problems. Sometimes you go to the Trick Room if you're doing Trick Room Dittos, but not going to tell you how to get it, but that's how you want to start off. Okay, you're definitely going to want a Pokemon with Flame Body or Magma Armor. I prefer Slugma because it's usually the best utility Pokemon in the game. Of course they locked it behind DLC because it's so freaking useful, but there are other Pokemon that do the job. Moltres is one. If you're putting in legendaries, there are certainly a few other options. I prefer Slugma just because Volcarona, obviously, but that's a little tough to find. But this is definitely another thing you're going to need. You're also going to need the Judge function, which is on the right of the screen, which shows all of the stats, and you're going to want these getting up to best eventually. Now, we're not breeding a Slugma, but basically that we're gonna want to breed everything up in stats and eventually get there. And the last thing we're gonna need, as well as something in our party that's generally like a legendary or something, to make sure that you don't breed it to keep things going while you breed, is the last prerequisite we're gonna need is a Pokemon to breed. Here's an Eevee. Okay, so we're also going to need some sandwich materials. We're also going to need some sandwich recipes. I'll go over those as the time goes quicker. So, first of all, we're going to set up to breed. So, we're going to come over to the west of Mesagoza here. This is going to be our little breeding spot in our picnic. So, I'm going to set up my first team for breeding. Ditto. Make sure you have a Destiny Knot. You can buy them from Chansey Supplies. Make sure you have one of those, please. Especially on the thing that's high stat that you're setting the Ditto from. That's absolutely required. Okay, Slugma does not go in on the when you're breeding. If you do, it will screw things up. Make sure you keep it in the box until step 2. We need the Pokemon we are breeding. Of course, Eevee. We have our blocker here. We have the first thing in our party. I'm technically going to call this our blocker. You don't want this breeding with anything. You want Generalist or whatever. So, legendaries work. You can figure legendary, get it out there. So you have your Ditto, you have your Eevee, and we're going to want to level this up. So, let's just say for purposes. And we're going to go over to the other side here. Now, this particular Eevee has nothing. I want to get a group of Eevees that have a whole bunch of stats, particularly female. Alright? We want to hit a female. Alright? Okay, so we're going to get over here. We're going to go to an empty box, because as you know, female Eevees have a hard breeding for females, so it'll take a little bit, and also that, quite frankly, Eevees make the Slugma thing very valuable, because using the Slugmas and other flame bodies cut the walking by half, and EVs are the second worst defender in the game, so that helps. And you'll see that later. Okay, so we're gonna go to our little picnic spot. Okay, so I'm gonna go a little slower here. Okay, we're gonna set up our picnic. I can't do overriding Corridon, obviously. Make sure it doesn't glitch out. If it does, we're gonna reset. Doesn't here, that's good. Bring that Corridon back, please. So, first thing we're gonna do is make a sandwich, right? Eggs don't come very quickly in this game, so make sure you have the money. Make sure we're gonna get a sandwich. I'm gonna give you the basic sandwich recipe we need to start this off. Basically, we need what's called a Great Marmalade Sandwich. It has cheese, it has butter, and it has marmalade. These three ingredients you're going to go through like crazy as you're playing this game. So I would suggest you stock up to the max on these three ingredients. Max out if you can. Or get lots of them. You're going to use them a lot. So we're going to obviously fire in the Great Marmalade Sandwich and the pick. And here goes the cheese. This will speed up getting eggs. And also, these sandwiches tend to stack pretty nicely as you breed a lot, so that's always a good thing. And you can see there's the egg power. It's only a level 2, but it's kind of stacked, so this is good. So we're going to come over here. Of course, we want the EV eggs, so you can clean up the EVs and Dittos if you really want to be. It's going to take a little bit, so stand around, watch, wake them up if you have to. There we go. Have a little fun. We're gonna get a few eggs, and then we'll go into part 2. Gonna take a little bit, so be prepared. Okay, it's 2. We're just gonna... Because it has 0 stats, we're not gonna go for a lot of them to start out. Let's wake these people up. These Pokemon up. Okay. You might get other things with this too. Be prepared. Wake up and smell the coffee! Taking me a little bit, as you can see. If you have any questions, you can definitely ask them here. Want to get 5 eggs, use a course of slow. Yeah, rain. Yeah, I mean, it's slow. I don't appreciate this. It doesn't go by a step counter. It goes by a time counter, which really bites. As we go later, I'm not going to... We may not go for 6 IVs here just to keep things on a little safe side, but... Come on. Now, don't save after you pick up the eggs. Now, I'm going to show you part 2. Now, for this sakes, we're not going to go too in depth. I don't know if I'm going to draw a female Eevee here, but usually you keep drawing until you get a female Eevee, but... Basically, I'm going to set all these eggs into the party. Let's please put this Eevee here for comparison purposes. I'll let you know when I get the final product. And of course, your Slugmore, your Flame Body in front. Back to Mesagosa. This is going to be your track just like any other game you've bred in. Of course, have more eggs, but I only have time to show a little bit, plus I don't want to bore people, so I want to keep this as tutorial as limited as possible. Plus I want to get 2 runs if I get a second female, so it does just show how it goes off. But here we go. Look how fast. This is going to go probably pretty fast because I have, of course, you're riding Koryodon and moving. And here goes the Flame Body in effect. It's really nice. As you know, you use the second worst defender for breeding, so this is really beautiful. And now you're just breeding like you always do. You can even use sandwiches and egg power. You don't really have to here. It's fast enough. Played this game for years. This is actually pretty fast. There we go. There's one. Also, if you want shinies, make sure you have the shiny charm before you do this. That's an obvious note. And look how fast it's done. About 15 minutes I did one pass. Compared to the other games, that's pretty quickly done. Usually I could spend hours on this, and I could spend more hours if I wanted to perfect it, but I just want to show this really quickly. I'll go over the EV stats in a bit. I just want to get them all hatched for now and see if we get a female. Now, unfortunately, these are all males. This is expected. This is EV, terrible female percentage. So, if you're doing this for real, you might as well probably want to go with more eggs, because it's just EV. It's going for starters. You know that deal. Anyone who's bred has done that. But basically, let's go to stats. We have one here. This is obviously no good, so goodbye. We're here. This has 3 as possible. Good first step. 3, good first step. 4. No, this is 5 actually, so these 2 go. I might keep them for other people, but and this one is nothing. Now, take what we just did, and this is just one step. Fortunately, not female. Whatever. But look how much we improved that in about 15 minutes. There for the female. We probably have to do more work if we wanted to get a female, but right now I just don't want to blow up the YouTube time boring you, so this is how you normally do it. You would take it to the next step. You would save it. We would just say we have a decent candidate here, so we're going to save. If you don't, you reset. Let me just see. I don't know which one Rotostorm doesn't have, so I'll have to figure that out. So we will get back to that. Alright, that's your basic breeding in a nutshell, and you repeat the process if you want to get it up, and eventually get it up to 6 stats if you have 6 stat ditto. That's as easy as it gets. And then you just use Scarlet and Violet's facilities to change everything, like stats and whatever you call it, and natures and everything. James Sorge signing off. Have fun. Bye.